hands over here. Who has heard of Ho'oponopono? Excellent. We've got a lot of people who already know about it. That's great. Okay, so I won't spend as much time explaining it later in the day, but much more. All right, next, please. Okay, so what are the health and wellness space, it seems? So I want to hear from you. What do you believe emotions are? What you feel? Energy? Excellent. Expressions, your expressions. Exactly. Sometimes when we think of emotions, we think of them as these vague things that we're feeling inside, these fuzzy things that we're feeling inside, right? When we get down to the science of it, emotions are chemicals. They're a combination of different chemicals, hormones, that are produced by your brain, specifically the hypothalamus, in response to your thinking, the way that you think and perceive the world. All right, next, please. Yeah. Now, at any given moment, there's always three things that are happening inside of you. You're thinking thoughts, you're feeling emotions, and you're experiencing a physiological response. Okay? Now, all of these things go together in a cycle. It rushes into your body. And it takes just 90 seconds for that adrenaline to be flushed out of your body from the time that you were triggered. So why then do we end up feeling angry for much longer? Why do we end up feeling so sad for much longer? That's because we as human beings are incredible storytellers. We tell ourselves the same story of what happened early in the morning again and again and again and again, and that's why you stay angry. That's why you stay in that space. So the thoughts that you are thinking to yourself are incredibly important. Next one. Yeah. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful, and they drive the kind of experience, the kind of emotions that you experience every single day. So a question that you have to ask yourself then is, what emotions are your thoughts fueling? So I want you to reflect on what that little voice in your head sometimes tells you. You know, is it constantly judging you? Is it constantly judging others? Is it asking you, is it questioning whether you're good enough? You know, or is it lifting you up? Are you looking at challenges as a way to develop yourself, improve yourself, or something you crumble under? The way that you think drives the way that you feel. It drives your motivation levels. That's why it's incredibly important. Next slide. So let's take a look here then. How many of you would say that your daily thoughts sound more like what we have here on the left? I always mess things up. I'm stupid. I'm always anxious. I'm unlucky. I can't do it. People will judge me. The world is against me. I'm not enough. How many of us hear these thoughts every single day? Or at least some of these things every single day? I think this is something we've all experienced, right? What would happen if you change those thoughts then to, I'm always learning and becoming better. I'm capable. I believe in myself. I create my destiny. I have it in me to create success. I define who I am. The universe supports me, and I am worthy. How differently would your life be if you could say all of these things and mean it with every cell in your body? You can feel it with every cell in your body. This is the kind of journey that I take my clients on. I take them from thinking this way to thinking that way. So I help them to change that voice in their head to something that lifts them up rather than keeps them down. Okay, next. Okay, back. Yeah. So, on to Ho'oponopono. So Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian self-healing practice of reconciliation and forgiveness. The word itself, Ho'oponopono, means to make right or to make good. Because that's what we're doing in this practice. We're turning our emotions, our negative emotions, into something good, into something positive. Now, there are 3 things that you need to know as well as we get into a Ho'oponopono practice. So the first thing is perception is projection. Now, we never really engage with situations directly. We don't really see reality directly. That is because with all of the information that we're taking in through our sight, our hearing, our sense of smell and taste, they're all going through various filters, right? So the reality that we experience is never really the objective reality because it's all going through these filters. And this is the reason why you and I can have a completely different experience of the same situation. You and I can go through the same exact actions, the same exact experience, but feel completely different about it. Okay, and when you perceive something, it is a reflection, like the way that you perceive something is a reflection of those filters. It's a reflection of your values, your beliefs, your experiences, the lessons that you've learned from the past, the way that you define yourself and your story. All right, next one is every emotion has a positive intention. So even though we might classify some emotions as negative, that doesn't mean that there are bad emotions. You get me? So, how are they bad if they're negative, When you experience a negative emotion like sadness or anger or something, that is your body's way of telling you that there's something in you that needs attention. There's something that's out of alignment, or it's telling you a message, perhaps a boundary was crossed. So your emotions act as signals for you to pay attention to, so that you can then act on it and take yourself out of that emotion. Okay? Emotions are never meant to be ignored or dismissed. They're meant to be listened to because your emotions always have a message. So we need to learn to listen for that message. Right? Next one. Okay. And the third lesson here is trauma is never your fault, but healing is always your responsibility. So no matter what happens in your life, you have the power within yourself to heal yourself. How magical is that? Right. So, let's go through the steps of Ho'oponopono. Is everybody ready for this? Okay. So we're going to practice this afterwards, but for now I'm just going to take you through the steps. So the first step of using Ho'oponopono is to identify the emotion and where you feel it. So take a scan of yourself. What emotion specifically are you feeling? And you can't just say, I'm feeling bad. What is bad? Is bad anger? Is bad sadness? Is it anxiety? Is it frustration? Name the emotion. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to fully tackle it. Okay, so name the emotion and where you feel it. So if it's anger, for example, where do you feel it? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it in your head? Sadness, where are you feeling? Are you feeling it in your gut? Are you feeling it in your heart? Where are you feeling it? Name it. Okay. Next step. Okay. Next is to rate the intensity on the scale of 1 to 10. Now this is optional, but it helps as a diagnostic tool. Right? So if you're feeling fear, for example, ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense is this feeling right now? Okay. Next. Yeah. Third is to say the Ho'oponopono phrases a few times. Okay, and I would say probably at least 4 or 5 times. Okay? And we're going to go through the phrases in a moment. So you say these phrases over and over, and then you rate the intensity again. And most of the time, usually, you'll find that the intensity gets lower. Very rare cases does it go higher, but that just means that you've uncovered something that needs more of your attention as well. That just means you have to do it again and again and again. All right? So you do this as many times as you need. I'm going to share with you. So this is something that I used once when I got angry. I got really angry at a friend of mine because of something that happened. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of why. All you need to know is I got really angry and I hadn't felt that way in a long, long time. Okay? So what did I do? I took a moment to process what I was feeling. It's like, what am I feeling? I'm feeling anger and frustration, a little hurt. Where am I feeling it? I was feeling it in my chest. I felt a heaviness in my chest. And I could feel that my cheeks were really hot. Okay. So I started the Ho'oponopono process. I started saying these phrases. And I started it with a phrase to set the context. Whatever it is within me that brought up this anger, then I would say the Ho'oponopono phrases. I did that again and again. By the end of it, and this is just a few minutes, by the end of it, the heaviness in my chest went away, my cheeks cooled down, and the anger disappeared. During this process, I was able to realize that instead of thinking of it as, oh, this person did something to hurt me, I changed my perspective of it to, this incident brought to light that there was something in me that still needed healing. Because if I was already fully healed, then it wouldn't have affected me so much, right? So this was an opportunity for healing. And I ended up actually feeling grateful that this happened. Instead of feeling resentment or anger, I just felt grateful. I was happy that I was able to have this moment of healing. All right, next slide, please. So these are the very simple phrases, right? And the aim here is for you to say these phrases to yourself. Okay? And you can choose to either just say these phrases or to say something in the beginning. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And then you say this over and over again. I'm sorry, thank you, I love you. Remember, you're saying it to yourself. You say this again and again. We can try this right now. Okay, just a very short demonstration. Now, considering we are at a health and wellness fair, I don't know if anyone's really feeling any intense emotions right now. So I don't know how effective you'll see it at this moment. So, very quickly, just name an emotion in your head, a negative emotion that you feel frequently. All right? And what I want you to do is take a deep breath in and out. Or, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I invite you to say these all out loud. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And notice any negativity begin to dissipate. Okay? Now this is something that's limiting beliefs so that they can become the people that they were always meant to be. All right, so if you would like to work with me and be one of my clients who's given glowing testimonials as well, and purpose, get in touch. All right. My name is Alexandra Reyes. Thank you.